Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new Crimson Vow draft here on the channel. My name is Nikolai, and in this video, I will be going pick by pick and play by play through a Crimson Vow draft, talking through all of my decisions so you know what to do in your own Crimson Vow drafts. If you enjoy this video, remember to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel for more draft content. If you already are a subscriber, hit that bell to get notified when I post future videos, and of course, comment below with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. Okay. Let's see what we're working with here. Well, our rare is a bit of a dud. Patchwork Crawler, not really playable, just too inefficient to be worth it. The uncommons are all bad. Radiant Grace, Groom's Finery, and Retrieve, not really cards I'm hoping to play. And then in the commons section, the best common, I believe, is Sigarda's Imprisonment. After that, it really goes off a cliff. Kessick Flamebreather can do some good stuff sometimes. In the right deck, Ragged Recluse can be pretty good. Yeah. Sigarda's Imprisonment is a fine card. It's kind of below average for a first pick, I would say, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I think it's worth taking here. We're not passing anything good, and this card is not really a card that's worth clinging to for dear life, so we're gonna just stay flexible here. If we were starting with a stronger card, we might consider going a little bit more like, okay, we're going to stick with this card, but Sigarda's Imprisonment is not that card. Interesting. So, Hamlet Vanguard goes well in a green-white humans deck. It is hard to use, and it would require me going into a second color and going into green-white, which is a weak color combination in this set, relatively speaking. Inclusive Taxidermist is pretty powerful, but again, kind of pushes me into green-white there. Resistance Squad can be good. You don't even need that many humans for it to be good, because if it draws your card like half the time, it's pretty solid. Child of the Pack is quite good, but it's a gold card, which I don't like taking this early, especially when I didn't start with a green card. A common is missing out of this pack, and there is white, blue, black, red, green. So we can't get any. It's not like there's no common of a certain color. I think Resistance Squad is a fine follow-up to Sigarda's Imprisonment. Keeps me in one color. Keeps me flexible. It's not as powerful as Child of the Pack, but I don't like having to jump into a second color unnecessarily. If I had taken the Child of the Pack, Pack Song Pup is a pretty good follow-up. But since I've started off with two white cards, Traveling Minister is the next best card, and I think this card's only really good in red-green. And we're not really necessarily seeing red-green, we're just seeing like cards that are good in red-green specifically. So that could lead to issues when you're trying to get like the rest of your deck. So if you have like a bunch of red-green cards, then even if you have like a gold card, a couple cards that are only good in red-green, you don't end up getting like the removal spells, the like filler 2-drops that you kind of need to make your deck work. I like Traveling Minister. It's the best white common by a lot, and so seeing one pick 3 is nice. And we can still go second color, any color. Seeing a little bit of red. I don't like the Epicure that much myself, though a lot of people swear by it. Flame Breather, Lantern Bearer is pretty good. I'm happy just taking the Traveling Minister. Okay. This is like the 4th Flame Breather we've seen. Kind of interesting. There's a Shield Basher as the only white card, so maybe white is starting to dry up. Courier Bat goes well with Minister. Other than that, not particularly great. Gluttonous Guess is a fine card, but it does tend to like stall the game out. So if you don't have like a late game that's like going to win you the game, like a bomb rare or something, it can be suboptimal. Laid to Rest is not particularly good, even if it is kind of cute in a humans deck. I think Hookhand Mariner is the best card in this pack. Cruel Witness is kind of in second, but I think the Mariners are just pretty solid. Scorpion's fine. This is also a human. I think it's better than Shield Basher by a decent margin. Flame Breather might be better, but it's not really as good in white-red. Here I like Falcon Wrath Celebrant as a pretty good card. The white card is not very good. Escort just doesn't really do what it needs to do. Don't really have any +1/+1 counter synergy. There is some Ceremonial Knife, but you can kind of pick one of these up. You don't really need multiples ever. and it's not a huge priority for me. Though it's pretty nice to have access to blood in these sorts of creature-heavy decks. So it's kind of a, do I go down the white-red path or the white-green? Or I could just abandon it all and just go green-red, though I've kind of passed a lot of green-red, so pack 2 might not be good for that. Wolf. Hypnotist. I don't love Hypnotist. Especially in decks that won't have a lot of blood tokens. Kind of a weak pack, honestly. Kind of gives me some freedom to go where I want. I don't think Prisoner's good. Flesh isn't good. Combatant's bad. I think I'm just going to take the Wolf. Now, Massive Might is a solid combat trick. I mean, these cards just aren't very powerful. There is Griff Rider, but I don't think that's a good card. 3 mana 2/1 is just too small. So seeing a couple white cards is a nice little reassuring thing. Let's look at our curve. Couple 1-drops, couple 3s. Overall, the deck isn't going particularly well, but it's not like we've passed any cards that are overwhelmingly powerful, other than like the Child of Night and Pack Song Pup, which are really only good in green-red. I don't like main decking this card. Bows isn't particularly good. Officiant, not particularly good. Though I have played against it and have had it feel okay sometimes. Sure Strike is pretty good, but we've been seeing some green. I think I might just take the Officiant. It seems really bad. Maybe I take Bows. Just in case I get some random enchantment payoff. I don't really think the card is good, though. I'll take Sharpshooter. I think it's better than Rallier. Winter Discussion is actually solid, but we haven't been seeing any good black cards. And after starting with 3 white cards, we have been seeing a lot of green. Maybe just get a bunch of humans to make our resistance squad as good as possible. I'm just going to take the Evolving Wilds. I can get a Witch's Web later, and this is just going to make my mana a little bit better. Ridge Wolf. It's good with some white cards. I might just get hooked up with some white cards in pack 3. Late Flame Breather. Only 2 non-creatures, though. I really hate Perish Blade Trainee, but maybe I need to. Maybe it'll be okay in this deck. I don't know. How did I end up here? Well, I took 3 white cards to start. Starting with Sigarda's Imprisonment. Ooh, last pick, this guy. Might mean that the color is open. So, Wolf can outcast. 2 less if you control a wolf or werewolf. I have 1 wolf and 1 werewolf. So, not really in the market for this guy. Because when it costs 6, it's pretty bad. There is Nurturing Presence, but that's more of a blue-white card. Like Brian Comer and stuff. I might wheel the Apprentice Sharpshooter, given what I wheeled last time. I think I'm just going to take the Sporeback Wolf. Get me a 2-drop. Helps me get on the board early. Arm the Cathars. Can be okay. There's also Spore Crawler. I like Spore Crawler. Arm the Cathars being Sorcerer Speed really makes it a lot worse. Gotta prioritize removal. Sigarda's Imprisonment. Probably the only removal I'm really going to be able to get. I like Hookhand Mariner a lot too, but we have a couple 2-drops. A few 1-drops. Some solid 3-drops. The Mariner at the top end. Whew. Well, that's a relief. Bleeding Spirit is great in this sort of deck. It sets up for good training and just hits really hard for a 2-drop. I like to see that. This card's just not worth a card. Just, yeah. Griff Rider or Rallier. I guess I'll take the evasion. Not really a huge fan, though. Hoping not to play it. I like Spore Crawler a lot more. You can kind of just suicide it in. Shield Basher. Kind of just middle of the pack cards here. Hopefully I can get a few more combat tricks. Maybe I should have taken a combat trick over the Evolving Wilds. Counters, but when humans draw a card. I have 2 training guys. I mean, if this card's ever going to be good, it's probably in this deck. Never played it. I kind of want to try it at least once before the format ends, so let's try it. Over a Spore Crawler, which is a good card, but maybe this card's going to perform as well. Though I doubt it. I'm not really optimistic on this one, but sometimes cards surprise you. Kind of weird that that one human payoff card, the like really bad green enchantment, didn't wheel. At least I don't think it wheeled. Maybe I do want Griff Rider now that I have the Cadet. Though playing 2 bad cards to make another card slightly better is tough. Tough to justify. So mostly just looking for more 2-drops. Two drops and combat tricks are kind of what I want. Well, I said I wanted combat tricks. Massive Might's a good one. Don't want any of the other cards. Don't want the journal. Wow. This is going to be a tough pack. Red is going to look real good here, I think. We're getting past both of those. 2 drops and combat tricks. Don't like this thing either. Why does it have to pay to make it fly? Eight humans. Maybe this card will be okay. I'm not super optimistic, though. Two drops and combat tricks. That's all I wanted this pack. It's kind of like a 2-drop. We got a few early drops. Not in the market for the sharpshooters, really. I already have 5 3-drops. Maybe this is exactly what my deck needs. Hmm. Not really in the ripsaw market, I don't think, right now. I guess I have 17 creatures. I think I'd rather just have a guy, though. 5 4-drops, 6 3-drops, only 3 2-drops. Unfortunate. I do have a lot of humans, so that's pretty good. A lot of our 3-drops have good value, so that's nice. Last chance for a 2-drop. We do not find one. We do get a hunter, which I don't know if I want to play. But I probably will because I don't have anything to spend my mana on. What cards are my weakest? Ancestor's fine. I feel like it's kind of unlucky not to see a single 2-drop in all of pack 3. But maybe I just, I mean, I probably wasn't in the right colors. I just don't remember seeing any 2-drops, like not even in colors I wasn't in. Okay, so 17 land seems about right because I have a lot of 3-drops and 4-drops. And this looks like the build. We'll see how it does, maybe make adjustments as we go, but this will be what we start with, and I'll see you folks in the matches. Before I get to the games, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support my content at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and special shout out to those at the credits level. It is thanks to this Patreon support that I'm able to continue spending as much time as I do making videos, and also able to continually upgrade my equipment and make the videos better and better with equipment such as microphones and cameras and lighting and things of that nature. It really does make a big difference, so I'm very grateful for the people who decide to chip in and help me make these videos. If you want to become a patron, it is very simple. You can choose any amount per month, and you can cancel at any time if your circumstances change. And as a patron, you will gain access to exclusive Patreon bonus content as one of the many ways I like to say thank you to my patrons. Anyway, though, I hope you're enjoying the video so far, and without further ado, let's get to the games. Welcome to round 1. Silver is not gonna know what hit it. Here we go. Starting with a Spore Crawler. That's a good sign. Yes, we drew the plains. This is going quite well. I expect a victory. They haven't affected the board yet. Got some good stuff. I'm not playing around deal 2 because they would have used it if they had it last turn. Like, they had the opportunity to kill this and not take any damage, so they would have had to top deck it, and they probably top decked the Celebrant. Because otherwise they would have played the Celebrant a little bit earlier. Oh yeah, Hook-Hand Mariner is doing much better than a Spiked Ripsaw would be right here. And that's game. Cruising through silver. Incredible. Yeah. Ooh. Whew. I wonder, like, if there was like a supercomputer that could say what the optimal deck was for a seat, how optimal that my deck would be. Like, of all the decks I could have drafted. I don't know. Maybe I was supposed to hold it back on defense. Trading 3 damage for 3 damage, essentially. Oh, that's a perfect Sigarda's Imprisonment target. Also, feels nice to get that little bit of an advantage for someone not knowing what their card does. Actually, that feels pretty bad. I wish that my opponents were not going to accidentally wreck themselves. I guess they're gonna gain 8 life here. Ah! Maybe it was greedy to put it on this thing. Mm-hmm. Ugh. I boffed that game. Thinking back on it, I should have just not attacked with my Snarling Wolf that one turn. Because them having a... I didn't think they were going to block and just sacrifice their Geist. But making an 8-3 double striker was too much for me to handle at that point in the game. So if I had just waited, done nothing, and then... because I forgot... I thought I would be able to untap my guy and trade with the 4-3, but I forgot they would just throw double strike on it. So pretty straightforward error, but nonetheless could have done it better. Because then they would have not gotten double strike on their guy. It would have been a 2-2. I would have had a 4-4 in play. Having to put a couple copies of this card in my deck feels really bad. Oh. I'm gonna get the sharpshooter down. I think it's gonna grow pretty fearsomely. Next turn I'll play this so that it could become nighttime. Maybe I don't want it to be nighttime against their deck, which is where red-green werewolves, presumably. Or at least red-green, somewhat likely to have some werewolves. I figure they might have a braid, which is why I didn't want to play this. Yeah. And they didn't want to use it on their wolf. Yes. Gotta win. Big game. Got the W. Unstoppable. This is what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Definitely rooms for improvement in my gameplay. I oftentimes just play fast and then notice at things afterwards. Don't always spend the longest thinking things through. Funnily enough, the 2-mana 1-2 would actually be a pretty good draw here. Forest also pretty good. Sign me up. Combat tricks are so good. Just when you're attacking and stuff. Just 1 mana kill spell, essentially. I'll just let them hit me for 2. Gotta be kidding me. 9, I have lethal here if they don't block. Edgar is so good against my deck. Edgar! Also, Cloak Cadet is being about as bad as I expected it would be. But, you know, gotta give him a shot sometimes. Little stealth guy. Okay. Dang it, I needed to draw another creature there so I could try to get another draw step out of this thing. Yep. I knew that would happen. I was considering killing their lifelink thing, but then I figured a 2/4 would be harder to get through. Gosh. Get wrecked, fleeting spirit. It looks like an odd block, but that thing's going to trade for my 3-1 at some point, and so I might as well just do it now rather than take a bunch of damage first. Like, I don't see a world where, with this hand, I ever don't just trade this off for a 1-1. Played around that by playing my resistance squad first. Feels good. This card will really punish them if they have counter spells they want to hold up. Not much to say here, just gonna wait and see what they play. I was hoping they'd play that, because that card doesn't line up well against my Spore Crawler. But I'll just play a second Mariner. If I hadn't drawn that, the Spore Crawler did match up well against the Imprisonment. I'm gonna have to exile this. Otherwise it'll just keep me tapped down forever. That'll also flip this. Hopefully it's hard for them to double spell. Because Rip Hook Raider hits like a truck. They do have a lot of mana though. That's a problem. I'm really surprised that they didn't block. That seems like a trade you have to make. And you're still at 16. They don't know I'm going to play a 6-6. You can put the Screaming Swarm back. That was a good draw. That's one of those plays where it's like, oh, that was lucky, but also it was like making sure that it lines up correctly is important there. And I didn't want to double spell because then this thing would be able to be blocked. Oh. Ah! Hit my microphone with the good old right hook. Serpentine Ambush is a card, I guess. Sorry for the yawn. Oh, gosh. I could have double spelled the Spore Crawlers. This way I get to train and put them dead next turn. Because otherwise they would, I guess they would still be technically dead next turn, but I think this way just puts more pressure on them. The win? Maybe? Whoa, whoa. Victory train coming through. Holy heck. Escape from Silver. The journey. Oh my gosh. Maybe I'll make it one day. Somewhere. One day. There's no place like gold. There's no place like gold. I could tweak the deck. Take out the Cloaked Cadet. Maybe I should. I don't really have a lot of good cards in the sideboard, though. It's not like I'm, like, barely making playables or really hoping to play the, like, Cloak Cadet because I have nothing else. It's more so, like, I'll try it out. My next best card is, like, Griff Rider or something, so not really missing out on much. Whoa. Maybe we'll get to 4 wins after all. I mean, this curve out is pretty impressive. It puts a lot of pressure on them, has a removal spell. Let's go! Why does it always get rid of the emotes? I want my emotes back. I have to manually enable them every time the game updates. Mr. Hits Like a Truck coming through. You can't block, so I don't care. Right, I don't have a human. That was bad. Whoops. I thought I was going to get to draw a card. Whoops. I think I've got him dead, though. 4 lethal attackers. They can't possibly put multiple blockers out. This thing will make it a lot of damage. I think we got him. We can play around Piercing Light. Woo! Gold at last! The promised land! Gold! Nice. Locking in a positive record with this deck. I'm not going to say terrible deck, but not a good one. If you had asked me how many wins it would get, I would say 3. But yeah. I was taking a hair off of my microphone head thingamabobber. The foam thing. I remember when we were in silver. No longer. Woo! I'm gonna play the Sporeback Wolf because this guy gets better as the game goes on. If they want to play Undying Malice, go for it. What you gonna do, Blood Hypnotist? Not attack? No! No! My beautiful Spore Crawler! Maybe I can get them. Oh, it's exile 3 cards, never mind. Yes, they cannot play both. So I'll play probably one of these two. Maybe the Traveler because I have some humans. Yeah. Cloak Cadet is always just such a blank. It's like a 5-drop that just doesn't do what I need it to do. If it cost 4, maybe it'd be playable. It's certainly worse than Emperor's Shield Breaker, like every time I've drawn it. You're doing good work, Cloak Cadet. Good job saving my fleeting spirit. Wow. What an honor. Cloak Cadet doing more when I discard it than when I actually play it. The Cadet has officially peaked. I want to try the Shield Breaker too. I just like always avoid playing it, and it could be okay, and it's definitely better than Cadet, so. Or I think it's better than Cadet. Maybe it won't be able to be discarded as easily to my fleeting spirit. Sure thing, we'll keep this. Get rid of Spore Crawler. I think it's just worse than drawing the card immediately with Resistance Squad. Sharpshooter's not great, but I think it's going to do some stuff here. Not going to let them use their deal 2 to an attacker, which it looks like they have. Which, luckily, we played around by being smart. I knew they had that card. I get a 2 for 1 here, though. They have found their second color. Ah! Rhinecomber, no. Ho 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 ho, I knew this would work out. I'm gonna play this. That way if I draw a land I can just play Flourishing Hunter. Ah! Maybe that wasn't a great attack with the 4/4 because they had Dorothea. The Estwald Shield Basher should do good work, though. I mean, they have to kill an attacker, probably. But they could also just have a draw spell of some kind. Yeah. That's a case where playing around too much can cost you. Because if I play around too much, they don't actually have it, and then they like cast like a Scattered Thoughts or something, I just go way behind. So they'll triple block now. I suck at math. I don't actually suck at math. I just wasn't paying. I thought that they had I forgot that this thing had gotten a counter in addition to the random +1/+1 from this, so I thought it was a 2/3 still. Luckily, we're still winning on board. I should have just attacked with both. Put him to 3. Unfortunately, I didn't draw anything relevant. And they can't attack here. Let's go. So I'm going to go to 1. If I lose this game, it's because I killed the 2/2 flyer instead of the 3/3 flyer that one turn. Yes, it looks like we got there. Yes! The Shield Basher! He gets sideboarded in and clutches it, despite my foibles. Wow. That was clutch. Oh, man. I almost botched it with a couple of, let's just say, questionable attacks. Holy heck, this deck is just pulling me forward. It wants to get the max wins. It wants to prove itself. It wants to say, look, I know that it's not the deck that you wanted, but it's the deck that you got. I mean, 6 wins with this puppy is... Ooh, what time is it? Oh, time to get a watch. I don't actually have a watch on. Don't worry. We're going to keep it on the play. I honestly just hate training as a mechanic. I think it's so unfun to play with. I remember the first time I read it, I was like, ugh. Like, that was my reaction. It's like, yikes. Just, like, needlessly finicky. Okay, so they do not have deal 2. Start growing our sharpshooter. Welcoming Vampire is such a house of a card. Wow. I'll try to exile it next turn. If they have another one, I'm going to cry. Okay, so I can exile that next turn. Maybe they'll use a trick or something. That's fine. We're in it. Yes. Let the training commence, sharpshooter. Sharpshooter, commence your training. I need to draw something good. Massive might be enough to clutch this for me. Yes! Why did they kill my 2-power creature? The world may never know. Yes! We did it! Oh my gosh! Woo! Got the maximum win run. Gosh, was that from 2-2 to 7-2? I don't even know. This deck did not look like trophy material, but it refused to lose. It made itself trophy material. Let's go. What was my best card? Probably... Oh my gosh, I don't have a single rare in this deck, do I? These guys did decent work. I don't even know. This deck... Oh my gosh, no rares, no problemo. Let's go. Well, this was an overperformance. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, in the comment section down below, leave hashtag overperformance to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video, because, yeah, I can't believe this deck got to maximum wins. You can also remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel for more draft content, and comment below with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. Check out the Patreon at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas if you would like to support my content. You can also read my articles, join the NicolaiBolas Discord server, find NicolaiBolas merchandise, and a link to the NicolaiBolas Twitch stream in the description down below. That's going to do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Happy 2022, everybody. This is my first draft of 2022. I'm glad we got that trophy, starting the year off right. So yeah, if you made it all the way to the end of this part, leave hashtag happy 2022, because you are the ultimate viewer who made it all the way to the very end of the video. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.